Expense of Weller, Webster and Dunstan, whilst for Richmond, Taylor Hunt is back in for Markov as we go to the opening bounce.
Saturday night, Longer quickly down to Stephen. Montagna involved. The purple there for Matty in the Guernseys tonight of the Saints. Hunt with an early touch. Grimes, wayward handball. Stevens coming through hard. Billings. Now Bruce. What a start this would be for the Saints, but offline. First score of the night to St Kilda.
Richo, who's got the start on Dustin Martin?
Well, in that centre bounce, Kobe Stevens was putting a lot of time into him. Let's just see how it unfolds. Now we get into general play.
Jaden Short with the kick in. Big fly from Edwards. Ball spills to Nunes. Handball misdirected, picked off by Cochin. Here is Martin. First touch, spears it in low, but it's picked off by Bruce. He's got Membry tracking back towards the goal square. Instead, he'll push it wide to Nick Riewoldt. Rance on his hammer. Riewoldt winds up from 55. Nankervis in from the side to kill the contest. Ball spills to the deck. Chance for Gresham. Confronted by Alice. Keeps it alive. Swings it back to the top of the square. Opportunity here for Rance. He comes storming through. Riewoldt on his hammer. Almost dispossessed him. Chance now for the Tigers. Lambert to Grigg and they're away.
Clearing kick towards the centre. What a terrific mark by Carlisle. Up high. Quickly to the skipper and Geary. Lowers the eyes. Here's Ross having a wonderful season. Sets it up in the Riewoldt direction. How perfect is that?
Yeah, really good start here for the Saints. Had multiple entries. And when you blast a big high kick out of that defensive 50, as Richmond did then, Jake Carlisle, there's going to be a 50-metre penalty here.
Oh, it gets even better, Richo.
Yeah, a bit stupid there. That's what Jake Carlisle's going to do all night long, intercept mark. So a really good start and undisciplined play by Alex Rance.
Large parts of the pre-game have been scripted, but this is the bit you can't script. But you could not write it any better than that. What a moment and what a start for the Saints.
Yeah, really good start for St Kilda and a bit of a sloppy start for Richmond. Some big turnovers in that defensive half of the ground. Dustin Martin turned one over. Alex Rance a little bit sloppy as well. So a very good start for the Saints and Nick Riewoldt. Yeah, just had the perfect sit there, Nick Riewoldt. The greatest mark just about the game's ever seen, certainly in terms of numbers, and there's the 50-metre penalty.
So the opening three inside 50s of the game goes St Kilda's way. Good start for them. Martin, the fend off on Billings. Ross took him down from behind. Cochin tackled slightly high. Wants to get it and go. Richmond skipper looks up, runs into some traffic. Stevens, Ross having a phenomenal year. Back to Stevens. And now Robertson. Wheels onto his left. Tiny kick finds Stephen at half back. Jack Stephen goes short to Savage. Tigers got their defensive zone in play.
They do love to switch the ball, the Saints.
Montagna snuck into the middle of the ground to open up the corridor. Will then kick it long inside 50, but Tigers' best position and going back to cut that off is short.
Well, St Kilda have long and longer in their team. The Tigers have short. I think we can give the size match-up on that basis to the Saints. So well controlled in the midfield. Well done. Short got things moving. Rioli had his hands on it. And now the ball is with Lloyd. Nice work from Short. Lloyd's long kick down towards the square. Grigg had it knocked away only just by Sinclair, and the ball over the line.
He was on for a long time then, Sean Grigg. I reckon Sam Lloyd could have played on that a little bit quicker and got it into him. Sort of a dull, subdued feeling over the crowd at the moment.
Savage with the kicking in duties. It's a tidy one, sets Geary away. He does likewise for Sinclair, who sizzles it low towards Riewoldt. Just a slight fumble allowed Rance in. He comes storming through, runs into Sinclair and gives away the high fend. Sinclair down the line.
Yeah, they're out here, the Saints. Good transition play.
Loney can give it over the top. Nunes steps a man and delivers to Bruce.
Really had numbers out forward of the football then, the Saints. That was really good transition play. You see this free kick here against Alex Rance. The high fend off there, clearly a free kick, but they got it moving quickly and they always had a number out the back. Look at that, 5 inside 50s to 1. They're on early here.
He's got 23 goals, 12 for the season. Holds its line. Oh. Saints have got the opening 2 goals.
What a start for Josh Bruce. He was the hero last week. Kicked the last 2 goals of the game in the last 2 minutes, and he started this game off on fire. He's already had 4 disposals, a couple of marks. Nick Riewoldt with a goal and mark already. So the St Kilda tall forward line looking really dangerous early.
Marks 10-3, Richo, St Kilda's way. They're just controlling the football at the moment, retaining possession well.
Well, he started the game on fire, Josh Bruce, like he finished last week. He loved it. He's had 4 disposals, a couple of marks already. So the Saints have got a fast start.
2 goals up the Saints, Richo. Schmidt, Ryan and Mollison, our umpires tonight. Rioli breaking through. It's terrific stuff. Lambert went back to Rioli, missed him in the end. Montagna, Robertson, bobbling around the footy. Now the clearing kick is good. That's really good stuff. Kobe Stevens gets it from Nunes. Montagna, a sweeping handball wide. Here's Steele from 45. He just pulled the kick a little. Didn't give it everything, and in the end, Rance just peeled off. Not a great kick coming out. Lambert got there to make a contest of it. They're not out of danger here yet.
Ross looks for Riewoldt. Bundled over the line.
Well, it's a sloppy start from Richmond, Lingy.
Yeah, and St Kilda's fast forward ball movement, Richo's just hurting them a little bit. As soon as there's a turnover, the Saints are just going, not hesitating, and they've got numbers forward of the footy, as you pointed out before. Richmond have got to be smarter around the ball to make sure Saints don't get that player out.
And Curvis tried to get it to Koch, and he eventually wins the football. Taken down in a tackle by Riewoldt. His boot hit ball. No sympathy from the umpire. He's pinged him for deliberate.
50.
That's against Trent Cotchin.
Reported for striking.
And a report.
Reported for striking. You punched him in the guts. Right? Settle. I just saw the whack in the guts, mate. Oh, I saw a hot punch. 9 reported for Richmond. 13 St Kilda.
There's the deliberate. And we'll have a look for Cotchin here. Yeah, there it is. That's what he's been reported for.
Saints have got the opening 3.
So an undisciplined start by the Tigers. Their captain and vice-captain both given away 50-metre penalties. Trent Cotchin reported. Damien Hardwick, he would be filthy with this, Jace.
And Trent Cotchin's about to find out just how filthy as he comes to the bench.
Yeah, not good enough from your leadership group to give away 2 50-metre penalties resulting in goals. Well, he should know better, Trent Cotchin. He got away with one earlier this year with a fine, and the umpires reported him for that one, and it doesn't look great.
Does he get away with that one, Richard?
I would doubt it, Baz.
Lingy, what did you think of that one? Hard to ask, Richard. Does put him on the spot, but from your view and that replay, did he get away with it again?
That's the one that probably gets a fine again for me, Baz, but I know that the AFL want to cut that out. They want to crack down on it. They're sick of it, so they might just make an example of him and say no more of those punches to the body or the head. Just stop it.
There's no wrong side there from Prestia with a handball. As a result, Nunes forward again and Billings has marked. It is all St Kilda here at Etihad.
Well, they're just not defending the transitional turnover at all well, Richmond. This handball from Prestia was really sloppy, and then Billings just got forward again, and they're finding space at will. Richmond aren't defending well at all here.
Been a goal kicker this season. 15-20, albeit inaccurate in front of the goals, and well, there we go. 15-20 remains, and out of bounds on the full.
There's another look at Trent Cotchin and Jack Loney. It's been the knock on Jack Billings this game. He's kicking for goal. Career stats of 42-53, and an opportunity goes begging there. The The Saints with 3-on-1 in the contest. Edwards, quick hands, Grigg. Now a chance for the Tigers to get something going. Stengel gives it to Butler. Wants to use his speed. Ran too far.
He wanted to take the game on, Dan Butler. That's his strength, but just ran too far. The umpire all over it.
Savage with the speed.
8 inside 50s to 1. The Saints.
And worrying 3 marks inside 50 from those 8, Richo. They've found some targets inside 50.
Well, they're just running harder across the ground than the Tigers at the moment, particularly when they get possession. They're just pushing forward really hard.
Stephen with Stengel closing. Swings to the City side of the ground. It was a well-weighted kick and mark taken by Gilbert. Gilbert goes down the line looking for Long. Tries to work McIntosh under the football. Can he use his speed? Keeps his feet. Gets through a tackle. Needs some support. Billings comes out. Ellis flipped a handball. Long and McIntosh. Long will get there first. Works it to Geary. Now Ross. Steps McIntosh. Can't quite get around him. Dishes it off to Gilbert. High ball to the pocket. Out of bounds on the full.
Straight to him. Straight to him.
She hasn't been long, got some pedigree. Just his 3rd game tonight. Cousin of Cyril Rioli, nephew of Michael Long. It's in his genes.
He should be able to play then, Baz. Is that what you're saying?
And from the glimpses we've seen already, Richo, not just tonight, but in his fledgling AFL career, he can. That is for sure.
Saw him kick 6 in a preliminary final in the VFL last year, Baz. He has got something about him.
And he should play with Footscray. Just got to Prestia. Not the first time Prestia's hands have been wayward. Gilbert, here is Long right on cue. Now Roberton. St Kilda's charge continues. And Nick Riebold on the lead marks about 48 from home.
There's another sloppy handball by Richmond and turning it over, and they're killing their defenders at the moment. Look at that there. That's twice Prestia's just given it away by hand. And when you give it away like that, you're going to have forwards out forward of the football and killing their defence at the moment, the Richmond mids.
It started perfectly for Nick Riebold and his Saints. 3-1 to 1 behind. Kicked 3 goals a couple of weeks ago. This one bending back. Right on the line. In fact, it didn't get over. So still in play here. Grimes off the deck. Well done by Grigg. Out to Riebold, who paddled forward only as far as Roberton. That was a scoop back towards goal. Asprey. Grigg. Low ball. Hard one to trap. Well done by Edwards. He met that brilliantly. And now Ellis with a clearer.
Chance now for the Tigers to get some free space in their front half. This is Lloyd. He's got a man tracking to the outer side. Uses Caddy now. But Caddy's kick is picked off by Nathan Brown. Savage. Geary. Now Gilbert. Around the wing to Membry. Quick movement once again from the Saints, taking the game on. Stephen has a couple of bounces, can look inside to Ben Long. He can turn and go. He's got a couple of men inside 50, bounces the football. Riewoldt gets across to force a contest. In the process, gives away a free kick to Jade Gresham.
Saints' ball movement is just too slick for the Tigers.
Only option inside 50's Billings. Was he nudged under the contest? Tigers have the numbers at the back. This is Nan Curvis. One-on-one at Geary versus Stengel. Geary wins it. Off to Ross. Ross inside 50. Too much on the kick. Nan Curvis holds it up.
What Richmond can't stop at the moment is the quick little handball receive that the Saints are giving. Every time they take a mark, they're getting handball receives, and it's cutting Richmond up.
Great grab by Geary, and wanted to go straight away. Does. Long down towards full forward. Rance, well done. Fisting away from Bruce, and the ball rolls over the line. Well, we know about Richmond's speed. It's so highly regarded and rated in the AFL. Terrific spoil. But it's St Kilda that have come with a speedy game tonight.
The speed of their ball movement, Baz, in particular, they're just keeping the ball moving at all times.
Long with 5 disposals already. That was clever by Gilbert. Ended up with Bruce. Carried forward was Billings, and Richard will come up again. Sorry, Lingy.
And Richard, with that speed of the ball movement too, they're able to control it. They've taken 20 marks in Kilda. Richmond have only taken the 6 mark. So Richmond, once they win it, they just can't hold on to it at all. Just St Kilda all over them right now.
And Curvis tap down towards Edwards. McIntosh in there. Beautiful pick up from Billings. Bruce didn't take possession. Paddle to Steele. Steele to Nunes. Left foot kick offline. It's working its way back. Gresham.
They're probably lucky they're not further down, Richmond. It's 14 inside 50s to 2. So probably lucky the scoreboard's not a little bit more out of control.
St Kilda dominating all the stat categories at the moment.
That's incredible halfway through a quarter to have 14 inside 50s.
5 of them haven't touched the footy.
Ellis. Membry in best position. It's going to come back. This is Savage. In more ways than one. Inside 50. Ellis off hands. Open ball for Bruce. Open goal for Bruce. And the Saints missed the opportunity.
Just got tackled as he was about to kick it, which forced the kick wide. If you have a look at this here, just that arm of Camden McIntosh saved the goal.
It was a good little handball from Gresham too, wasn't it? They are on tonight, the Saints, and they're coming forward again, although that one, all right for Stephen.
There's that handball receive again.
Ball was from Robert, and now Sinclair sets it up. Perfect kick, hand in there, Caddy, important hand, Grimes. Back to Caddy. They just have not been able to build anything. Now maybe. Here's Lloyd. Looks up. Not a lot to go to, so he can carry the foot. He has a couple of bounces. Lambert, Ross with him. Now Menadue squeezes a short one to Grigg. Got the ball on quickly. Prestia over the top. Running out of room. Castagna squares it up. Can Grigg finish? Back to Cochin. They're queuing up. Now the shot released. That's better from the Tigers. Great patience. They're on the board through their skipper. Well, that was responsible, if you like, from Richmond. Under pressure on the back foot, but they weren't spooked there, and it was really well worked. They kept it in their hands. They knew the open man was going to be there if they farmed it around enough. And in the end, Trent Cochin, who has had an interesting moment or two to start this night, with the opening goal for the Tigers, and St Kilda's lead back to 14 points.
Well, this was the first time Richmond's been able to get any chain of possession happening for the night from one end of the ground to the other, and the captain, who gave one away, gets one back.
Grigg goes in the ruck against Gilbert. Lambert gets it to Menadue. Can the Tigers get a spark? Martin to Hunt. He floats a handball over the top to Grigg. Grigg almost missed the football. Geary taken down in a strong tackle by Rewalt. Butler in there scrapping hard. Long as well.
Well, this is the first time the ball has stopped in Richmond's forward half of the ground and the defence is able to set up properly. They've been under siege. This is the first time Rance and Asprey have been able to get things set up.
Just the 8th stoppage of the night so far.
And that's what happens when you can get it set up. You should be able to get the ball back.
Steele out towards Rewalt with Rance for company. Stevens went looking for Nunes, but the handball missed its target. Picked off by Menadue. Cochin. And now Jaden Short will go towards the pocket. Press is his target. He worked his way to the front. He did it well on McKenzie.
You know what the time.
Now a chance for Dion Prestia.
So that's the difference. They're able to get a stoppage in their forward 50. Give the defence a few seconds to get things set up and not be under siege, and they were able to win it back and get a repeat entry for the first time tonight.
Disposal efficiency's been the issue for Prestia this year. Around the ground, he's going at 66%. He's kicked 1 goal, 6 for the season. Can he convert here?
It's been an issue for him, his kicking efficiency this year, Jace. Not just kicking for goal, his general kicking around the ground hasn't quite been where he would like it to be.
Joey Montagna to kick in game 2-8-5. Is there another season in Joey, Richard?
Yeah, I think you'll wait till the end of the season and judge that. I think it's an interesting one with him and Nick. I think his form, if he plays well, why wouldn't he?
Shane Savage back in the team. First game since round 10. It might be coming back their way. Hunt got his hands on the footy. Now Lambert. Caddy. Low kick, centering kick. Edwards, terrific. Marks on his chest. So as time goes by in this term, they're just settling into their work here, the Tigers.
I think Joey Montagne's on record as saying he'll just let his form do the talking. If he plays well, he's hoping to get another contract.
15 seconds gone.
It's an important kick here because Richmond don't deserve to be within 7 points, but if Edwards kicks the goal, no, they're right there.
Game 197 for Shane Edwards. He's been a wonderful player for the Tigers. It would have been for 2 in a row, and it was an important kick. And well, in some small way, that just tells us a little bit about their mindset to start this game. Normally a reliable finisher is Shane Edwards, and
Just been a sloppy first quarter from Richmond.
I think sloppy's the word, Richo, yeah.
The only positive is, though, that it hasn't cost them too badly on the scoreboard. So they've got back a little bit of momentum. That's nice and lucky. You take that in a game of footy every day of the week. But
Nunes to Nick
they've
Rewalt.
turned it round a little bit.
Edwards to Martin, has a fumble. Can slip away from Ross. Delivered on the bounce to Menadue. Quick hands, overlap run from Ellis. And he misses.
Even Dustin Martin fumbling the ball there. It's contagious.
So Shane Edwards has kicked 6 goals, 8 for the season. He puts one out of bounds on the full. Prestia misses his shot. And now Ellis as well. Ross from centre-half back goes towards Rewalt, has the position on Brandon Ellis, takes the mark. He's got Stephen forward of the football, can use him now. He's got a couple of men leading towards the pocket. He's going to get run down by Menadue. He ran too far.
He had too much time then, Jack Stephen.
Ran way too far. Nice here.
It's a let-off, isn't it?
Yeah, couldn't make a decision. He had options inside 50, he just couldn't decide.
Connor Menadue then with that free kick inside defensive 50. High ball towards the wing. Longer got up first. Geary, Brown played it nicely. High ball inside 50. Terrific grab. Asprey had his name all over it. Set himself for the mark. It's terrific to see the defenders do that. You just love to see that, don't you? The defenders decide they're going to take the mark.
Hasn't had a touch there, Jack Rewalt. Is he okay down there, Lingy?
Yeah, I think he's okay. He's been working really hard, Jack Rewalt, but he just can't end up in the right spot at the right time. Sometimes you have those games, but I'm sure with his work rate, he'll find his way into the game.
Great mark, Geary, wasn't it? Now to Savage, long ball. Gee, the marking is a real feature tonight. And Brandon Ellis, terrific across half-back.
It's Jaden Short.
Yeah, the Saints have been able to win it back. Whenever Richmond's gone long down the line so far, like this, the Saints have been able to win it straight back.
Again, they've got Longer and Brown in that pack.
That's 3 times in a row now. 2 to Longer and 1 to Geary.
Savage to Nunes to Kobe Stevens. Attacks the goal square. Rewalt in from the side. Spills off the contest. Loney tight angle. Bends it across and finds Billings at the top of the square.
What a clever kick.
Yeah, that was a brilliant kick. He knew exactly what he was doing there, Loney. Have a look at this again. Had a quick look. What about the skill level?
Oh, so good that, wasn't it?
Yeah, so good.
So Jack Billings, as we said, kicked 15-20 for the year. This is where you want them. And the Saints get another. Margin back out to 18 points.
So the Tigers fans, they're not quite sure what they're witnessing here at the moment. Brilliant start to the Saints. 18 inside 50s to 7. Really, probably lucky to be only 3 goals down, Richmond. Nick Rewalt's on fire. He's already taken 5 marks in this first quarter.
So fans of both teams in purple tonight for Maddie's match. Encourage everybody to do their bit, mrv.org.au, and of course the jumpers from both teams being worn tonight will be auctioned later on that website. Get involved if you can. McKenzie off half back, a long ball. They continue to come forward. St Kilda, although chopping them off, not for the first time. Ellis, and here's McIntosh.
Thanks, Jack.
What do you want to see from Richmond here, Richo? What do they need to do to get themselves going?
They just need to maintain possession. As Lingy said, they haven't been able to maintain possession in this first quarter. This is a little bit of what they can do, just to take a bit of the pace off the game and get to quarter time and reassess everything.
Short, that ball almost got through to Martin. In fact, it did. Brilliant handball to Castagna. What about the chase from Ross? He was right there every step of the way with him, holding the ball.
Brilliant tackle, but Castagna needed to handball that football. He had a player on and he didn't give it instinctively, and he cost his team.
One thing Richmond have got to do as well, Richo, is just fix up around the stoppages. 7-2 the clearances are to St Kilda. So straight away the defenders are getting under the pump and are becoming a little bit reactive now as they're dominating the clearances.
Nunes finds Stevens in the corridor. He goes to 50. It's a 2-on-1. The one wins. Memory can turn and go. Man at the top of the square is Gresham. And once again, they get in behind the Richmond defence.
Well, the kick, they're allowing the Saints, Richmond, to get kicks in the corridor. Here's the chase here. Brilliant from Ross. But then they're able to come through the corridor far too easily, St Kilda, and they're just getting out the back every time. 6th mark inside 50 for the Saints in just 25 minutes of football. Jade Gresham, a chance to kick their 5th goal. It means they're getting shots from dangerous positions directly in front. Yeah, their ball movement's been really good, St Kilda.
Even when they're attacking down the flanks, Richo, they're funneling it back into the corridor to take their shots.
Yeah, they're playing on quickly from their marks. They either get a handball receive or they wheel and go quickly. And their ball use has been really good. Great first quarter by the Saints.
This way, guys.
Well, Lingy, that's a good sign. Jack Riewoldt back out there.
Yeah, and he didn't really get too much treatment, so maybe just going to the bench to get some messages from the coaches, spend a bit of time with a couple of the bench coaches. Hasn't touched a footy yet. As I said, his work rate's been high, just hasn't ended up in the right spot.
One tackle for him tonight. Here's Cochin. So it's a 4-goal lead for the Saints with less than 90 seconds to play here in this opening term. In Maddie's match for Nick Riewoldt, it's been the perfect start for them. Nunes short to Robertson. And now Montagna. Down to 1 minute and 10. Nunes close to the line. He pulled the kick a little. And Stengel to give the Tigers a chance here.
Thank you, Jack.
A minute remaining in the opening term. Here's Cochin.
Play on.
Push back well, St Kilda. That kick almost too much on it. Short, didn't want it there, but got there, and McIntosh. Man on, they've controlled it well here in Lambert. Now, can they go long? Back into the middle again, Martin. Long ball in. Is there a mark? Big fly, but it didn't matter because at the back, Caddy on his chest and has been paid the mark.
Yeah, well, that's the extra distance that Dustin Martin can get on a kick.
Alan Richardson about to come down and talk. He wouldn't have been happy with this with about a minute to go. Just trying to do the cute one there. It was Nunes instead of going long down the line. Richmond got the ball back and got it into Josh Caddy's hands. That annoys coaches, those ones.
So Caddy almost on the siren here, not quite. And well, probably that's fitting for this opening term because it has belonged to St Kilda.
Yeah, it's symbolic of Richmond's opening term. They've had 3 set shots at goal, their last 3 set shots. 2 out in the full and 1 barely registered, all from about 30 metres.
Kick from Carlisle was a little shaky as well, but Savage hugged it to his chest. And what an opening term from the Saints. They're 5-3-33. The Tigers are 1-3-9. It's St Kilda by 24 points at quarter time on Maddie's match, Saturday Night Football. The Saints with the jump. They lead by 24 points. Nankervis to go against Longer in the ruck. Longer flies, gets the tap straight down to Cochin, who's tackled by Stephen. Montagna, the quick release. Stevens is away. Inside 50, Bruce the target through his hands. Rounds at the back, couldn't take it cleanly. It comes back to Bruce. Tackled and taken down by Asprey. Ball spills free, still there for the Saints. Long feeds it back to Ross. Dispossessed by Martin. Stevens to Nunes, had a huge first quarter. But that kick only as far as Asprey. Nunes now up to 11 possessions.
Yeah, they're getting first use, the Saints. 8 clearances to 3. Get that first centre clearance. So Richmond need to tidy up around the stoppages.
Asprey's view down the ground. Riewoldt up with just the one hand there. I wonder now, Is there some concern for him? Stephen, brilliant, stole the ball from Martin Savage inside 50. It's a long penetrating ball. Grimes out first. Short was over the line. See, that was interesting. So Revolt in that marking contest, just a one hand up. And that's not the attack that we're used to seeing from Jack Revolt. How does he look to you, Lingy?
Well, I'm not seeing anything, Baz. He's signalling to his team right now. I know what you mean in that marking contest. I will keep a close eye on it, but I haven't seen any other suggestions to say that he's injured. St Kilda will get a free kick here and get another shot at goal, but I'll watch him for you, Baz.
Yeah, that's an interesting one there. The free kick paid here to Longer, but I reckon that boundary throw-in fell quite short there, Baz.
Stevens lurking in the pocket here for this one. Billy Longer.
There's the hold.
He's kicked just 2 goals, 2 in his 53 games. Jack still just lurking, as you can see there, right of screen.
Trying to sniff one out, is he?
Billy's going to take the shot. He trots to 45. And never in doubt from the big man.
It's interesting, the boundary throw-in. We know we were told pre-season, Richo, that sometimes they appear short, but because the two ruckmen go so far back to get a run-up at it, often it's not as short as what it looks to the naked eye.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. The ruckmen were a long way back, and Longer just got the break on him to the boundary throw-in that appeared short. Nankervis holds on, and that's a great start to the second for the Saints.
So, Richo, short boundary throw in here, or the ruckman a long way back for it?
Yeah, it's hard to say, isn't it? I reckon it was a little bit short, didn't quite go as far, but Longer reacted the quicker and got the free kick.
Well, they're at it again here, and they're at it with St Kilda leading by 5 goals. They are playing fantastic football, and Ross taken high. Wow.
So that quick play on again.
Look at Seb Ross go with intent towards Billings. Awkward bouncing ball. Did Hunt bring him down? Loney there to mop up. Back towards the goal square. Marking contest. Revolt. How did he get his hands on that?
Oh, he's a champion.
Don't give it away.
He's an absolute champion, Nick Revolt.
Didn't look like he was in the contest, Richo.
So he's taken more marks now than anyone in the history of the game, Nick Revolt.
Revolt plays on quickly, and he's kicked 2, and it is a 6-goal lead for the Saints.
Yeah, brilliant contested mark. Why wouldn't he go on? He's playing a huge game here tonight. Nick Revolt, he can keep playing next year. I've got no doubt about that. He's taken 6 marks, kicked 2 goals. And the way he looks after himself, I think he will go on next year. I can't see his form falling away, Baz. What a champion.
Turns 35 in October.
Fantastic mark by the champ, Nick Revolt. But, Rich, I've got a little bit of bad news for you.
Oh, no.
AFL stats guru Cole Hutchison did some research during the week. He thinks one of Gary Dempsey's games wasn't counted.
Oh, no.
So, poor Rui doesn't have the mark record yet.
Well, he'll get it in the next few weeks.
He's guessing and thinking that he needs, now that he's got 6, he needs another 14 marks to break the record.
You're a bit stiff there, Richo.
So Dempsey, one of his games has dropped off the face of the earth, has it?
Yeah, didn't count, but Cole Hutchison's gone back. He's counted it.
Oh, no. Oh, well, he'll get it in the next few weeks then.
Longer wins the tap. Prestiasoccer's off the deck. Slapped forward by Nankervis. Coming hard at the football was Caddy. Carlisle takes him down.
Holding, St Kilda.
A free kick against Caddy now, and it's going to come back to Jack Loney. Again, they play on quickly. Ross, the recipient.
But they're getting that quick handball receive every single time. And Richmond just simply aren't manning the mark well.
Savage steps around Butler. Long inside 50 off the hands of Billings. Bruce cast in the role of a rover and hits the post.
Well, there's that contentious decision by Bruce to go along the ground there. Just drop punt that one.
1 goal, 3 now to Josh Bruce. The lead, 37 points.
We know our ball, it does unpredictable things when you dribble it along the ground, and that's just a simple drop punt there for Josh Bruce.
Poor Josh Bruce is making a little habit of that one, Richo. Earlier on in the year, he missed an absolute sitter.
He did too.
The big man tangling again. Longer did well. Nankervis fell over. Nunes now Young man Long kicks the ball forward. Well, he's having a couple of moments here. Kobe Stevens, he takes them on after dropping the mark, and the sidestep. Tackled by Cochin. Doesn't matter. It's out by more than 7 goals.
Oh, this is horrible now for the Tigers. Trent Cochin shaking his head, but Kobe Stevens had time to drop a mark there on 50, recover it, and still play on. The pressure's just not there from the Tigers. And the Saints are all over them. They're playing great football, don't get me wrong. The Tigers playing horrible football here tonight.
And another 6 or 7 seconds to get it on his boot as well, inside 50.
Yeah, he had a chance there to drop a mark and still have time to pick it up and finish it off around the corner. Kobe Stevens, and wow. What a game the Saints are putting together.
Shows you the significance right there on the live ladder. We mentioned at the start of the night, St Kilda a game inside the 8, but a game outside the top 4. Martin, rare touch for him, just his 6th. It's coming back the other way. Here's Gilbert on the end of the handball from Steele. Now to Montagna. The veteran runs to 50, measures it, goes for it, and gets it. St Kilda are on fire.
Where's that script? Where is that script? Matty's match for the Revolt family. Nick Revolt, he started this game with the opening goal. He's kicked a second in this term. St Kilda, you can barely believe this, 49 points is their lead at the 7-minute mark of the second term.
No one would have believed that, Baz. Well, there's the turnover kick there. Trent Cochin probably like to have his time again. It's turned over in the middle of the ground, and the Saints are simply, once they turn it over, they are just killing Richmond the other way, opening them up everywhere.
Ellis to Edwards, awkward one. He picked it up beautifully, back to Ellis. Goes down the line towards Stengel. Nicely roved by Rioli. Handball into the path of Lambert. It doesn't sit for him. Got a couple of players to beat. Does it well. Keeps his composure. Delivers it inside 50. Revolt will get a free kick. Tiger fans suggesting that's about time.
Well, he hasn't had a lot of opportunities, Jack Revolt. The ball's been down the other end most of the night. There's a free kick there across the shoulder.
15 seconds, he's right on it.
Starts at left. And it stays there. Tiger fans watching on.
Well, they're stunned, the Richmond fans. They're not used to this year. Coming into this game, they've been
competitive in all but one game this season, Richo. Haven't seen anything like this from the 2017 Tigers.
It's out of the box for this year, but they've got to try and turn it around within this game now. You can't allow this to become a huge blowout game.
They've conceded 100 points just once this year. That was that big blowout against Adelaide in round 6.
Gee, Revolt almost. Arm looked okay that time. Steele, Stephen, combining nicely. Ball towards the middle of the ground, and Revolt running magnificently at the moment. Sinclair sinks it long at the back. Membry.
They're playing unbelievable football. It's the handball receives that they're getting in the middle part of the ground. That one there. Richmond aren't defending that at all. They're allowing that every single time. And Membry just would have been rubbing his hands together. When you're a forward and you see a handball received through the middle of the ground, you know you're going to get quick ball movement, and Membry would have loved that.
It's almost hard to believe. Kicking for his 22nd goal of the season. If he kicks this, it's a 54-point lead. 11 minutes into the second term. Membry's kick on a night where everything is going St Kilda's way. Why wouldn't it go right through the middle?
That's 8 straight from set shots tonight for the Saints. And their ball movement is outstanding tonight. I'm not sure Richmond's defending it that well, but they're making the Tigers pay every single time. Got a dangerous forward line. Great marking targets down there, Rewalt, Membry and Bruce. And if they're going to get fast, quick ball movement, they'll make you pay.
The ball movement you're talking about, Richo, is that kick there. Absolutely perfect to Nick Rewalt, and then no hesitation. Just gave the handball. And the St Kilda forwards are just licking their lips at the moment. 27 inside 50s halfway through the second quarter. Great footy to watch.
Lambert to Rioli, smothered off his hands, long up to Montagna. Now Stephen, they go again. Jack runs to 50, he winds up. Rewalt in the square. Just misses.
And it's not just that outside run, Lingy. Richmond are getting towed up in the contested possessions, plus 16 to St Kilda. They're simply getting flogged everywhere.
Short to Asprey, 55 points is the lead, and the Tigers fans here, well, they just cannot believe it. Daniel McKenzie, first game back after a break, chops it off again for the Tigers, and Stephen, who some had said has been a little down on the end of it tonight in a big way, 14 disposals, isn't Longer playing well. Round the back to Steele. They set it up again. High ball towards the top of the square, no mark this time. Ellis, clearing kick, Menadue under pressure, Nunes behind him. Tough one here. Prestia leading in the race. He was pushed off the footy too easily, and Nunes just pushed over the line by Menadue.
Yeah, Richmond are going to have to just slow the ball down, I think, for a little while if they get possession. The Saints, if it keeps going quick, the Saints are going to run all over them at the moment. Richmond need to try and get the tempo in this game down a bit.
Stevens inside 50 again. It's a 2-on-2. Membry taken to ground by Rance. Grimes in there as well. Just a better spread of contributors for the Saints at the moment. They've had 14 players who have had more than 5 possessions. Richmond have had just 7. Halfway through the second quarter, 7 players who have had 5 or more.
It's a complete performance so far.
Stephen just eludes his grasp. Gilbert wins it, gets it to Steele, who flips it into the path of Billings. Tackle brought down by Hunt. Short under pressure. That one from Long, a little high.
Gee, Jack Stevens enjoying the night. A quiet game last week against Fremantle Jack, but back in form tonight.
Short goes towards Lloyd. It's sucked away from him. So, Lingy, I'll ask you and Richo both the question. If you're Damien Hardwick, is it something you can do from the box, or is it simply a case of they just need to play better?
They need to play better, no doubt about that, Jace. But yeah, I think there's some moves that can be made from the box. I think they need to put a tag on one of those St Kilda midfielders. I think Jack Stevens probably the man you're going to have to quieten down right now. They haven't wanted to do it throughout this year, but maybe they're going to have to change it up a little bit. Maybe change some personnel in the middle of the ground, because they're getting towed up in clearances, and that's just putting their defenders under pressure. Maybe a couple of positional moves, and then you just demand the players that this simply is not good enough. They need to have some pride in their performance.
So Martin down towards full forward. There's one move. Here's Steele. Stevens coughed it up to Menadue. Does this give them a little chance? Got around Gresham. Ball down the line, but not a good kick. Martin missed by McKenzie. How's the recovery? Tackled and tackled well. Castagna not rewarded, held to him. I guess the one thing, Richo, for the Tigers, we've still got 2.5 quarters of this match to play.
Yeah, there's a lot of this game to play. They can turn it around, but yeah, it's hard to see where that's going to come from at the moment. They simply need to get their hands on it first in the contest and then work from there. They're not even doing that, and the Saints have got too much run.
Inside 50s are staggering, aren't they? 30 to St Kilda, just 10 for the Tigers.
And the Saints are away again. Billings to Gresham. Just so many men forward of the football tonight for St Kilda. Gresham goes inside 50, and Stephen takes the one-hander.
Yeah, they're spread from the clearance. They're winning it first and foremost, the Saints. And there's
Gives it off to Billings from 40 metres out. Pulls it to the pocket, and even that works for them.
Yeah, everything's working tonight, but they're spread from the contested clearance situation is just outstanding tonight. I'm not sure Richmond's pressure's that great, but...
So Josh Bruce has kicked 1 goal, 3 for the evening. He steps around and just misses. Margin 56 points as we approach the halfway point of the second term.
Look at that scoreline, Jace. It is remarkable, isn't it? 10-6, 1-4, St Kilda by 56 points. Still 10 minutes remaining in this opening half, and that ball out of bounds on the full. So that man in the box is befuddled at the moment. That's not a technical term, but that's what is happening. Nunes, a high ball, big fly, Bruce, not that time, had his hands on it. Grimes at the back of the pack, under pressure. Bruce got his hands on it again. Kobe Stevens, they've kicked another one. They lead by more than 10 goals. Can you believe it?
He's having a night out, Josh Bruce. That was a beautiful handball. He could have kicked 3 or 4 goals already, Josh Bruce. He's missed a few. They're just lining up down there at the moment. Kobe Stevens gets on the end of this one. And there's still 10 minutes to go in the second quarter. Richmond's defence has only been coughing up 78 points for a whole game this year.
Another horrible turnover from Richmond, and you asked before about what Damien Hardwick could do for this team. Well, you can't do anything as coach when your team just simply kicks the ball out on the full. That is just a terrible kick, and they keep giving St Kilda the ball back. They've got to settle themselves out there, these Richmond players, work their way through it.
Edwards to Ellis, who misses a target. Butler arrives with Savage right on his hip. Nunes, Ross to Loney. Good attack on it from Edwards. Savage, he's taken down in a tackle. Loney goes back, wins the football, puts it into the path of Gilbert. He's got a couple of metres on Cochin, who runs him down, takes him to the line. Gilbert keeps it alive, but it's smothered off the hands of Nan Curvis. Good point you make, Richo. The Tigers' defence ranks second in the competition this year, averaging 77 points a game against. They're already up to 72 halfway through the second term.
Yeah, no defence can cope with the sort of ball movement the Saints are being allowed through the middle, though, at the moment.
Nan Curvis. Stephen goes in, wins it. Billings flips it into the path of Ross, who gathers. Menadue lays the pressure. Stevens. Nunes. Now Jack Stephen. He'll attack the goal square. Rewalt wrestling with Rance. Rance gets the fist in. It's still alive for Gresham. Tight in the pocket. Looks for an option. Squares it up. Billings was his target. Cochin slips over. Geary goes. And takes the legs of Shane Edwards. The Tigers will escape.
Gee, that's a tough call, isn't it? We know by the spirit of the law, but he just wanted to get the football. That's all he was trying to do. Get his hands on the footy. Menadue through the middle. Ellis got around Geary, keen to make amends for that last free kick. Lambert's got it. Now, can they get something going here? Ball to Butler.
Say it, Jack, come out.
55 from home.
Hold there.
Revolt leads once, doubles back.
Get on. Play on.
Goes again, Jack Revolt. Butler, though, just a high ball. Tough one to mark. No real flyer. Robertson was up in front. Lambert on the end of it. Ran into a wall. Martin couldn't get his kick away. Geary, the skipper, doing it at both ends. Brown, superb. They've won it out to Ross. That was really clever stuff. And now the ball marked by Loney.
Gives it off to Billings. The Saints sky high on confidence right now, taking liberties with the Tigers. Loney, Billings, Stevens. He's under pressure, ever decreasing circles, but they still manage to get out of it. Sinclair, sweeping handball to Jack Stephen, and he hits up Gilbert, drops the mark. That allows Cochin in. Shrug Stephen, can't shrug Gilbert, he's gone.
St Kilda.
A brilliant effort from Gilbert and Stephen there.
Trent, hold here.
Not a high tackling game, this one. It's been a pretty open, fast-paced game, but when they have had to nail a tackle, the Saints, they've done it.
Gilbert goes towards the pocket. Membry's target. It's over the back. Here's Gresham. Can run into an open goal. And that is too easy.
Yeah, it certainly is, Jace. Way too easy. If you're going to let a little man like Gresham have a free run at the football like that, no body on him at all, no defensive pressure on him at all, the ball gets over the back and he's able to just waltz on in. Just far too easy for the Saints at the moment. And it's hard to see where Richmond are going to get a spark from at the moment. The Saints are outstanding.
Brilliant tackles, brilliant work rate from Gilbert and Stephen, created that turnover, and then that's just simply too easy. Ball over the back, Gresham just popping it through as easy as you like. Richmond have got to work something out now. This has just been a disgraceful first half of football by the Tigers. St Kilda have been wonderful. I've loved their attack on the ball. Damien Hardwick right now, he's working through his magnets, thinking, where do I throw players? I just don't have trust in players. Maybe that one could have been recalled back at the centre bounce, but Damien Hardwick just couldn't trust some of his players to get the job done tonight.
Gee, a little unlucky, that's for sure. The Tigers not to get that one recalled. Here's Gresham again for 2 in a row. It is.
Well, the issue Richmond have, if this continues, in such a close season, the logjam in that ladder, they're losing valuable percentage here tonight.
And it's got to be said, Rich, I mean, you know all about this, but it's these sorts of performances coming off a win against Port Adelaide that have given Richmond that reputation that they've had for so many years. These are the games where to turn up like this is almost unforgivable, isn't it?
Well, we haven't seen it this year, so I guess we'll see how they react in the second half, Baz, and then what happens next week. But yeah, this has been very, very disappointing if you're a Richmond supporter tonight.
Dan McKenzie with the smother. St Kilda fans thoroughly enjoying it.
He should be happier than that. He's got nothing to worry about tonight, that young fella.
Loney, Steele, just slips off his hands. Cochin tumbles to ground. McIntosh tries to stand up in the tackle, can't do so. He's taken down as well. St Kilda have been ferocious from the opening bounce.
Jay's biggest half-times leads this season, 59 points. Adelaide over Freo and Port over Hawthorn. And, well, with 6 minutes and 10 seconds remaining, St Kilda, they lead by 69 points.
It's been a stunning performance from the Saints.
They've made a bit of a statement here. The Saints are in pretty good form coming into the game, but this is outstanding.
Longer. Little give to Kobe Stevens, emerges from the congestion, gives it off to Montagna. He can wind up from long range again. Is it straight? Oh, it is! Montagna gets his second.
Second from outside 52.
And it's nights like tonight that as a veteran, as a Joey Montagna or Nick Riewoldt, you just savour.
Oh, you lap it up. And he's coming off half-back. And if he's allowed to get handball receives around that area of the ground, a player of his skill and experience, he's going to make you pay. He shouldn't be able to get the ball in that position.
Another go from long range from Joey Montagna. And have a look at the effect. The live ladder, St Kilda, 104.8. Just a fraction behind Richmond. They started tonight, Richo, 98.79%. So
yeah, that's the big thing, Baz. That's going to be the story out of this.
14% they've made up on Richmond so far tonight.
Just remarkable, isn't it? And look at that on the right-hand side of your screen. Last 10 goals. Last 10. This is top 4 team in yellow against a team in 8th place with the purple, black and white, and they are dominant at the moment. Bruce got the handball from Ross. Montagna in everything, no free kick that time. Prestia, he's one that needs to lift. They all need to lift, to be perfectly honest. It has been a terrible start to this game for Richmond. 2001, the last time the Tigers were in the top 4 this late in the year, and that just makes it even more disappointing for them. Menadue got it to short. Is that holding the ball? Was that? Slow to release was long. And up it will come again. Everybody catches their breath. St Kilda, if you just tune in, you'd think, no, this must be a misprint or this can't be right. They haven't got the scores right. St Kilda by 75 points.
Steele to Ross.
We've got him right, Jace.
McKenzie. Now a chance for the Tigers. They can push forward. This is Riewoldt. He's got Butler over the top. Coming in the other direction is Geary to close it down. Still there for Butler. Steps through some traffic. Pokes it over the top looking for Lloyd. And standing tall is Savage. Now McKenzie.
Just had no ability at all to hold St Kilda up tonight. Just played fast footy brilliantly, the Saints.
They've come with a game plan, executed it perfectly. Menadue with the kick in to Ellis. He's one of just 3 Tigers to have double figures possessions. compared to a dozen for the Saints. 3-12, extraordinary.
The lack of the second tall forward has hurt Richmond tonight as well. Every time they go long down the line, the Saints have just been able to mop up easily.
Ross's kick was ambitious. Savage made it good. As we say, the Saints playing with supreme confidence right now.
That's flattering them a little though, Richo, isn't it? Because it's hardly been in there.
No, it hasn't.
Rewalt to Carlisle.
The responsibility for me falls on those senior midfielders. They've been destroyed in the middle of the ground. 20-8 is the clearances St Kilda's way.
And the contested possession, Lingy, is nearly plus 30 in a half.
And that is the midfield contested possession, absolutely, Richard. And when you've got the quality of Martin and Cochin and Prestia and Caddy and all these sorts of players, that's simply not good enough. Brilliant by St Kilda. Don't want to take too much credit away from them, but those Richmond midfielders need to be better.
Montagna, Sinclair, and now Nunes. His 19th possession. Jack Nunes runs to 55 and delivers to Bruce. He will have his 6th shot at goal for the half. He's kicked 1 goal, 4.
He could have kicked 5, Josh Bruce. He should be able to kick this one. This is not a hard kick for these players now. A couple of steps around his body. They're pretty good at these. He's kicked 1-5 now. Oh, he's frustrated. You've got to cash in on these sort of nights. The way it's coming inside 50, if you're a forward down there, it's going to be one of those nights you're going to get plenty of opportunities, and Bruce hasn't made them pay. Look at that, 20 marks. 20 inside 50.
It's not too often you get, they're up to 39 inside 50s for the half, Jace. Not too often you get that as a forward. So you're right, Richo. Josh Bruce would be spewing.
Big fly from Mackenzie there. It went through his hands. Well, if Josh Bruce, Lingy, had kicked straight tonight, their lead would be 100 points. Here's the Bruce fan club.
Well, he leads the Tigers by a point right now.
Everywhere we go in footy, Bruce has his admirers.
40 inside 50s in a half.
Longer, Stephen. Gresham close to the line. There's time for another one. Oh, Grimes back with courage. Membry coming the other way. And I reckon right now Dylan Grimes may have no Membry.
I think he's okay. It was great courage by Grimes. Membry had to commit to the contest. There's nothing untoward about that.
Gee, he is groggy going, look at that shiner, Richo.
Yeah, he's a courageous player, Dylan Grimes.
The winemaker from Mount Macedon bought the Mount Macedon winery with his partner Alicia last October. And right now he doesn't know whether he's making Pinots or Sauvignon Blancs.
Look at this, that's... Oh, hang on, yeah, gee.
Well, that's an elbow, isn't it?
That's not great looking.
Yeah, no, at first look, Rich, I was with you. I thought he just committed to the contest, but no, on replay, that's pretty ordinary from Tim Membry.
If not elbow, certainly forearm. That is just something they did not need to do, Jace.
Didn't see that on the initial contest, so yeah, that didn't look too good, that one.
Nunes in there scrapping for the football. The umpire eventually calls for it. Contested possessions in the second term.
That's huge. That's where the game's been won.
That's embarrassing.
Look, the outside run and the skill level and the goal kicking's been great, but they've simply been great in the contest. They've smashed Richmond in the contest and blown them away on the outside. That's what Alan Richardson would love the most. Their ability to win the ball in close, and then the other stuff on the outside has come from that.
Menadue long to the wing. Rewalt, Longer, Nankervis, Carlisle, all up. Caddy's quick hands. Prestia couldn't wriggle free. Lambert does, gets it to Lloyd. Chance now, he'll look up and he'll see a 2-on-1 inside 50. Martin goes tracking it back. Savage comes the other way. With 81 seconds left in the first half, the margin 76 points. Dustin Martin.
He's only had the 6 disposals, Dusty. Quietest game he's had for a long time.
Longer, nice tap to Gresham, the look-away handball. Missed the target.
Holding, Richmond.
Maybe a chance here for the Tigers.
Clear out, clear out.
Actually, great courage from Grimes to stay out there. That's been remarkable. Look at that from Edwards. Can't believe he would miss the target and miss it by that much. Sinclair, Grimes doing the chasing, Nunes, and they're on their bike and away. Gresham, a bounce inside the square. He's kicked 2 already tonight. Got the ball away just in time. Billings inside 50, then out again. Montagna, he's hit the scoreboard. Just overplayed it a little bit. Lambert back into trouble was Ashbury. Good tackle from behind. Membry, Sinclair, not out of danger yet. The skipper's been terrific. Geary's pop kick doesn't quite get to steal. Knocked away. Loose ball to be won. Savage went hard at it. Rioli, the beneficiary. The tackle coughed it up. Steele again. Now Stephen. It'd be fitting another goal here. It would be really fitting. Hasn't kicked one yet. He's kicked one now. How good is this? 82 points, if you don't mind.
This is on world record pace here tonight. Unbelievable performance by the Saints. Jack Stephen has had 21 disposals. Nunes has had 20. Ross has had 19. They're queuing up to kick goals. That is a great finish.
As you can see there, Lee Montagna in the bottom right of your screen, just getting his jaw checked out.
Yeah, I'm not sure Dylan Grimes is too good down there.
Here's the Montagna incident.
Brilliant.
On the way down, actually.
Yeah.
Nothing malicious in it, just awkward. And here's the live ladder, and the Saints have gone past the Tigers. They started the night 14% and a game behind them. They now lead them on the live ladder as Stevens gives it to Montagna. 4 seconds left. Ashbury comes across, forces a contest, slaps it away from Memory. Sinclair comes sweeping through, and the siren saves the Tigers.
What an amazing half of football. There are people in shock everywhere. 92-10. St Kilda leads 14-8 to Richmond, who've been the form side in the past. What's going to happen with Richmond in the second half? Can they make a game of it? They go into the second half down by 82 points.
Second half begins at Etihad Stadium. St Kilda by 82 points. Lambert, boot to ball quickly, doesn't quite get it inside 50. Good hands from Robertson. Stopped it in its tracks, delivers towards Membry. Off the hands of the contest to Butler, can sweep it wide to Grigg. Can the Tigers reset now after half-time? Lloyd works Geary under the football. And Carlisle walks it over the line.
Lingy, looks like Dylan Grimes has started down on the bench there. Is he okay after that hit late in the second?
Oh, like you, Richard, I was worried when he copped that hit from Tim Membry. Stayed out on the ground. You can see the big egg, the big shiner on his cheekbone, his eye. I was worried for him too, and no doubt the doctors would have checked him out at half-time. The fact that he hasn't started on the ground makes me concerned that he might be done for the night, but I'll watch it closely, Richard.
Gresham, Sinclair, Stevens, Ross, all involved. McIntosh cuts it off on the wing.
Move it on, play on.
Tiger fans shell-shocked by a scintillating opening half from the Saints. Rebolt comes out and marks right on 50.
Come back to the 50, Jake.
Can Richmond generate some sort of momentum early in this third term? There's a bigger picture at play than just tonight's result here for the Tigers. Richard, it's the first time this year that they've been truly belted. Adelaide beat them by 76 points, but that was across 4 quarters of football. This is 82 and a half.
No, they've got to peg it back here in the second half because you don't want to let go of that hard work of 15 rounds in one game of footy.
From 53 metres, Jack Rewalt gives it a ride. Swings across the face. Off the hands of the contest for a minor score. In fact, it's hit post, so it'll be a throw-in.
And the percentage is the big thing, Baz. We've already seen how much percent St Kilda have been able to make up tonight and Richmond have lost. And in this close season, you can just see percentage playing a big part come round 23.
I wonder too, do we have to alter our thinking on St Kilda? Caddy, well done. Found some space, but the finish not there. Opening score of this term at least goes Richmond's way. They've got so much ground to make up. I guess a 10-goal deficit would be something, Richo?
Yeah, that would be something to aim for, Baz. But, gee, the Saints want to keep going. They want to keep their foot down. They've been in really good form.
Martin tried to flick it to short. It was picked off by Loney. Now Rewalt. Membry is wide open. He can waltz into an open goal.
They have just smashed Richmond on the turnover tonight. When Richmond have turned the footy over, one thing they've been able to do well this year is defend those turnovers. Not tonight. St Kilda have made them pay dearly, forced the turnovers, and they've just had forwards out everywhere. Far too easy again for the Saints, and Richmond just haven't been able to defend that at all. So here's the turnover there from Dustin Martin, and that's where they've made Richmond pay. Look at that, 10 goals. They've pounded Richmond on the turnover tonight. Richmond have been #1 in the comp at defending that area this season, so
just 46 points on average for their entire game. They're at 63 tonight, Richard.
So it just shows you how good St Kilda have been transitioning from that area.
Bit of push and shove there. They need to try something, Richmond, anything just to get them moving. That's 12 consecutive goals for St Kilda. 12, a dozen. Here they come again. Ross slapped forward cleverly by Stephen to get it moving. Nunes back to Ross again. Just toying with them at the moment. Absolutely playing with them. Savage, brilliant. Got it from Robertson, gave it back to him, and then drives the ball inside 50. Rance in front of Revolt. You saw the grimace. Didn't want to concede front position. Short now. McIntosh, where does he go? Tries to come straight up the middle. Kick misses Rioli. Savage, who's been terrific in his first game back. Rioli just got a handball away. Fisted forward by Edwards, knocked the other way by Nunes. Some space here. Loney went to ground. Billings is there to support. They've still got numbers. Now they lose out. Hunt through the hands of Rance. Goes back into trouble. Dangerous. Loney got him. Robertson over the footy. Edwards onto him. Martin the clearing kick.
2-on-1 in favour of the Saints. Castagna gets involved, immediately tackled by Ross. Carlisle is pinched by Lambert. Looking for an option. He's got a couple out now. This is Butler. Can pop it over the top. And Josh Caddy. Unfortunately for the Tigers tonight, their set shots have been going into the hands of their worst set shot goal kickers this year. Caddy's kicked 9 goals, 10 for the season. Well, surely from here, Richard.
Well, you'd think he'd be able to kick this one, Jace. But it's a strange night.
Couldn't, could he?
It's one of those nights, Baz.
For Richmond's second goal at the 5-minute mark of the third term.
Well, that was a long time in between drinks for the Tigers, and they just simply have to win the footy at the coalface. St Kilda have been brilliant in there tonight. Really clean. Won it in the stoppages. Dustin Martin's had his quietest game in a long, long time. Trent Cotchin has struggled around the contest as well.
Well, this season we haven't seen Richmond get blown away too badly. We haven't seen that from Dustin Martin. He's been brilliant all year. He's been consistent all year, but so quiet. Only the 8 touches, no impact whatsoever. And the umpire will recall this bounce. He spent a lot of time forward, I think, just trying something different, Damien Hardwick. But I like the fact he's back in the middle. Just let him fight through what's been a pretty dirty game, and he can learn from it how to still have an impact in a game when things aren't going perfectly.
Lingy, that was the Tigers' first goal since the 17-minute mark of the opening term. And in that time, 12 goals, 5 from St Kilda. They almost coughed it up, but Nankervis back down towards full forward. Lloyd got high, just couldn't hang on. Loney to mop up. Gilbert saw his intent. Robertson, they've combined superbly. The mark not quite from Kobe Stevens. Not the first time that's holding the ball. He fumbled once before and got away with it, and quickly into Revolt. That was better. Stengel got his hands on it, and then Prestia, and now they need the finish from Jack.
And just quickly, Baz, Dylan Grimes is done for the night as Jack Revolt passes that one off to Sean Grigg, it looks like, and there's Dylan Grimes. He is done for the night. So obviously the doctors assessed him at half-time and found that knock from Tim Membry in the second quarter has caused a bit of concussion and a nasty lump on that cheekbone around the eye there. So Dylan Grimes out.
Sean Grigg was off the ground for quite some time in that second term as well. Saw a little bit of cotton wool in the right nostril, but he appears to be okay here. So for 2 in a row, started online and then swung away late. Back to 80 points. 80 points.
23 shots to 8. It was 14 shots to 1 in that second term. It was just scintillating football from St Kilda. Leaves you asking the question, how much of this is St Kilda and how much is Richmond? Grigg.
I think you could say a little bit of both on that, Jace. The Saints have been outstanding. Turned up to play, but you know, they've been 100% on from the start, and Richmond haven't been, and they've made them pay dearly.
Once again, we see this incredible season take another twist. No one saw this coming. Gresham, Steele, Ross, now Jack Stephen. The Saints have been so good running the football tonight. Nunes' handball was ambitious to Ben Long, tries to work his way out of trouble and somehow manages to. Steele to Stephen, 2-on-2 inside 50. Rewalt plants his feet. Ball spills to the front. Hunt, a fumble. Billings couldn't take it. Cochin tries to farm it out to Lambert. He leaves it behind. Sinclair to Long. Paddles to the advantage of Billings. Can he flip it to Gilbert? No, he can't. He's wrapped up. And once again, the Saints almost able to create something out of nothing.
Richmond.
The Tigers hang on through Grigg.
It tempted Richard to blame the travel factor for the Tigers, but St Kilda battled hard against Richmond away from home.
No,
against Freo rather away from home.
No excuses, Baz. That doesn't count for anything.
Martin, after Gilbert missed it, and Carlisle as well.
The Saints are coming from Perth on a 6-day break, so if either team was going to use that as an excuse, the Saints could have.
Ross, centering ball, it's going to sit nicely. And away he goes. Sinclair's kick is spot on, and Membry marks on his chest. And he can go back and kick for his third.
Well, if you get the ball in the corridor like that, look at this here, in the corridor with no one around him at all in Sinclair, you're going to mark it inside 50. Players are too good now at finding targets.
Mark inside 50. 3 to Membry, 3 to Rewalt.
Kick
3 to Bruce.
In round 6 against the Hawks, this to equal that performance. Not quite directly in front, but close enough. He's got 3 straight, and it's 86 points.
Yeah, any forward would tell you what do you want. You want fast ball movement. You want it coming through the corridor. And that's what Tim Membry had then. And he's going to mark it. It's way too hard for defenders to try and stop that sort of ball movement. And he's kicked his third. He's just such a great... He's that third tall that teams would love to have. Rewalt, Bruce and Membry. They're up and about, and so they should be. The purple wig on for Matty.
Margin at 86 points. Caddy. Stephen goes in, wins the football. Stevens to Montagna. Savage coming from the back. Goes towards Membry and McIntosh. McIntosh with the superior position.
So Richmond have won the contested ball this quarter, and they've had 3 scoring shots to 2. It's not rocket science, this game. They just didn't come to play in that area in the first half. Got smashed.
Grigg to Menadue, wants to play on, wants to try and get a little bit of that frenetic football that St Kilda's played so well.
And Richard, doesn't necessarily mean you have to win or dominate the contested possession like St Kilda did in the first half, but you've got to be able to break even. You can't get beaten by 30 in a half of football. It was just terrible.
Menadue to Grigg. Off the hands of the contest, Prestia punches a handball low to Lloyd. Immediately tackled. St Kilda's pressure around the contest tonight has been sensational. Grigg to Prestia. He tries to keep it alive to Lambert. Feeds it back to Grigg. Hoists it high. They come from all sides. Front and centre was Stengel. Can give it or go himself. In the end, he did a sort of a combination of both and neither. Hunt. Caddy. Snaps. Misses.
So, Lingy, they were contesting for a place in the 8 before tonight. Do we have to reassess our value now for St Kilda? I mean, they are pushing right up there.
If this is sustainable and they can do it next week, the week after that, then yes, we get very excited about them. I've still got, they're a young team. I've still got them sort of anywhere between 7th and 10th at the moment, but Gee, this sort of footy's got to excite St Kilda fans for the next few years.
When they get their ball movement up, though, Lingy, they look pretty dangerous, don't they?
They do. It's scintillating footy.
Hunt's kick was a wobbler, and Stephen, who's been quite superb tonight. This is disposal number 25 for Lee Montagna, who kicked 2 long-range goals. They were electric. They lifted the team downfield. You heard it there. Billings. Kobe Stevens. Apart from a couple of little fumbles, he's been a great contributor tonight as well. This is disposal number 23. Down the line he goes. Rance had his name on it, just didn't hold on. That sort of night for the Tigers. Asprey, Ellis, and now Martin. That's better. Edwards, and Menadue can go. Looks upfield. He gives it straight away.
Montagna's handball misses the target. Martin with a fend-off.
Tackle, St Kilda. First part was high. Play on!
Mackenzie wins it, but didn't have the hands free to pump out the handball, and now he finds himself exactly back where he was about 20 seconds ago.
First part was high, Josh. No. Come on, grab the ball, please, Daniel. Sam.
Gilbert jumps early on Grigg. Martin takes it off the boot of Stephen. Look away handball from Edwards is good to Prestia, and now Castagna. He's got Caddy working hard for him.
50 metres. 50 metres.
And this brings him within range.
I reckon the Saints players have been pretty good at not letting Dustin Martin get that don't argue happening tonight.
They've brought numbers at him, haven't they?
He's been wrapped up a few times and hasn't been able to get the ball clear. They've done pretty well tonight. Would have been a real focus for them after Martin's effort last week in Adelaide.
They've attacked him in multiples. Haven't left one man to tackle Dusty too many times this evening.
No, it's been a good team effort.
So Castagna, 21 this Wednesday. Chance to kick his 16th goal of the season. And he slots it through. So 2 goals apiece in this third term. After the Tigers kicked just 1 in the first half of football. Sean Grigg with 18 possessions. Lambert and Ellis 16 apiece for the Tigers.
So this is the free kick, and it's being paid there against Nathan Brown and Jack Rewald, I think, the 50-metre. Castagna kicks a goal.
That was the wrong call, wasn't it, Richard?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, Baz.
Cochin. Here's Sinclair. Robertson, what a player he's become. So confident. Stephen, clean bowled by the footy caddy. Gathers, just goes short. Is that the required journey? Gee, umpire said it was okay. And Castagna, a chance to kick his second.
I reckon Robertson, he's got a case to argue that he's the most improved player in the AFL, I'd say, Baz. Good point by you. He's been outstanding this year. Would be an All-Australian contention. Had a terrific year. Such a really good intercept player. Reads the ball so well.
So for 2 in a row for the Tigers. Castagna kicking at his second. Say no more.
Didn't get very good momentum through the football then. Jason Castagna, really, have a look at this, really sort of slow, proppy approach. And that tells the story.
Carlisle gains a bit of territory, pokes it wide. Geary marks just inside the line.
And you hate to say it, but it's the sort of performance that the knockers have been waiting for, and it just opens the door, doesn't it, to that criticism.
Well, if you put in a performance like this, Baz, you've got to cop the criticism.
And there's only been one really like this year, as
and I
we
think
said.
the thing for Richmond will be how they respond in the coming weeks, Baz.
Gilbert
and the rest of this game.
to Geary. On the bounce to Rewalt. He's got Mackenzie wide. Rioli holds him up.
Play him around, play on!
The ease at which they've found open men tonight has been alarming. This is Kobe Stevens, 25th touch for him.
Yeah, they've been able to possess the ball at will, the Saints.
Membry tries to get to the contest and does. Here's a chance to go back and kick for goal number 4. His 3rd for the quarter.
And even that there, you know, Richmond had numbers back. It was a slow play. And to be able to get a one-on-one there is pretty disappointing. There's players standing around everywhere, no third man in at all.
You can't blame the defenders for being so reactive, though, at the moment, Richard. The ball's been living there and just coming in so quickly. And you're right, they're just locked onto their men now, as opposed to thinking, how can I help? Come in, third man up, help a teammate out.
He's taking his chances this evening as Tim Membry. He's got 4 straight.
He's a natural forward, Tim Membry. Goal kicker wherever he plays and kicked 4 goals tonight. He's a great foil for that man there, Nick Riewoldt. 188 centimetres, so he's not super tall, but he plays the position so well, reads the play.
Four goals for Tim Membry. And that's his best against the Tigers, and just one off his career high of 5. 4 times he's kicked a bag of 5. 4 straight. He might be looking at some time off, though, after that incident in the second term on Dylan Grimes, and Grimes gone for the rest of this game, it would appear, so that never helps. And to be fair, it really was a forearm to the face, wasn't it? So I think it's fair to assume that he's in a bit of strife for that one. Bubbling away here in the middle. 7 minutes to play in this third term. 84 points. 82 points was the margin at half-time, so it's increased by a couple of points. Prestia, very quiet night. Lambert out of the middle. And a whistle.
Richmond. You held him first.
Savage can't believe it, but Tyson Stengel gets the free kick.
At your line, Max, here.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot in it. Just had his arm around the hip there. When the umpire sees the arm wrap around, they react to that quite often. Good one-on-one player, Tyson Stengel, only in his second game. But real strength of his at under 18 level.
Young man from Adelaide, kicking at his 3rd career goal. It's offline. And Damien Hardwick, he is powerless, absolutely powerless.
Robertson goes long. Brucey's target. Up he goes. Good hands. Beats 2. And once again gives the handball to the running Sinclair. Now Riewoldt.
That's been their strength tonight. That quick handball receive, it gets them out every time.
Steele to Gresham at the back. Lands magnificently, but couldn't get the run of the football. He's still there. Lambert tries to get it to Asprey. Now McIntosh, well smothered by Steele.
We talk about those handball receives, but talk about it, you've still got to have players turn up there and run to create the position, and they've run so hard. Whenever a teammate takes a mark, they turn up wanting that handball receive, and it's a real strength of St Kilda's game at the moment.
131 handball receives to 67. Extraordinary. Rance, Prestia, and you're right, Richo, that's about work rate. Short. Puts it into the path of Prestia. Will it sit for him? Coming hard the other way was Robertson. Outstanding play, Dylan Robertson. Billings gets on the end of it. What a team goal this would be. Montagna, Bruce, back to Montagna. 55 from goal. Swings it high towards the top of the square. Riewoldt in from the back. It's fisted to the line. Dylan Robertson leaving his man. Putting it all on the line.
Yeah, brilliant play. Look at that, he just wanted that football more there, Dylan Robertson. Simple as that.
It's been a dirty night for Dion Prestia, just 11 disposals. Nothing much has gone his way, and Robertson, the desire, just so much stronger. Longer, knocked it straight down Edwards' throat. He wasn't quite sure where to go, and now the clearing kick from Asprey through the hands of Caddy. Menadue at the back to mop up. Stevens got in, good tackle, holding the ball. Kobe Stevens has been great tonight. 26 disposals. Ross, ditto. He's been in everything, both of them with 26 disposals, and Steele enjoying his work, as is Carlisle. So everything ticking into place. And Lingy, can you forgive them this performance, the Tigers, or it's so bad you can't? I mean, they've been good all year. Is there any forgiving them for this?
Not that first half, and in particular the second quarter, but gee, they've played so well this year. I'm not going to jump off them now as long as they respond in the right way next week. But gee, that first half was about as bad as you get, and you want to be harsher on them. But the year so far has been excellent, so probably give them a week's grace.
Oh, Billings over the top, Sinclair, and here's Bruce. It's 89 points. 89 points. The team 9-5, the Tigers, 4th on the ladder coming into this match. Only a win between them, it has to be said. But St Kilda have made Richmond not look second rate. They've looked like they have been the only team in the contest tonight. Like there's only one side out there, St Kilda.
Just been so much cleaner, the Saints. Richmond fumbly, getting in each other's way. And the whole night's been like that. The cleaner team from go to woe here, the Saints. And Josh Bruce, he finally gets his second. He's kicked 2-5 tonight, Josh. He could have had a night out, Baz.
Caddy taken down by Steele. Lloyd puts his head down, tries to crash through, gets it to Cochin. Cochin towards half forward. Gilbert, 2-on-1. Castagna did well. Handball not so good.
So that's an example there, just easy handball.
Carlisle's kick just sat up. Lloyd couldn't take the mark. But he will get the free kick.
Just missed too many targets, Richmond.
Ball to the top of the square. Savage picks it off.
Yeah, that's not the kick for Richmond. A 3-on-1 to Rioli with that small forward line. They've got to be able to lower their eyes going inside 50.
Loney to Gilbert to Steele. There's another handball received. They're prepared to just run and support. That kick not great. Picked off by Alex Rance. He's got Castagna at half forward.
Play on your round, play on.
He pops it up in the Rewalt direction. 3 to beat in the air. Stengel lurking at the back, but the ball fisted to the front. And Gilbert pops it over the top. Steele's got to be quick. Just got his boot to it. Ellis. Castagna. Back to Ellis. Pops it over the top to Rioli. Tries to step past Gilbert, who ushers him over the line.
Well, stating the obvious to say it hasn't been a good night for Richmond, but unfortunately for the cheer squad, it gets worse. Even Josh Bruce is booting into them. That's just making it a nasty night.
Well, the defender tried to get across the double fist, but I don't think he got enough of it. That hurt.
Wasn't quite the spiral from Plugger into the front row, though, was it?
And Curvis just got it away in time. Nunes, who's been so good tonight, and Asprey. Well, tonight, not his best night. Not the team defence's best night, but he's done a lot of that this year. He's been quite superb. Asprey to Menadue. A little pop kick over the top, and they've given it straight back. This is remarkable. Here's Ross. Ross can go for home. Revolt going back with the flight. Oh, this is good stuff. The purple people are on their feet. They are loving this. He's kicking here for a 95-point lead. Nick Revolt,
15 seconds.
opening goal of the game. Another after that. This will be his 13th disposal on a night when the crowd and the family honour and remember Maddie. And what a memory it has been tonight. Well done, Team Revolt.
Yeah, fight like Maddie. She would have been proud of her brother and her cousin this week. The amount of work they've done promoting this game during the week. Been outstanding from the Rewalt family, everyone involved. Congratulations. And the crowd's turned up tonight, so I'm sure that plenty of money has been raised. Just a horrible turnover in the middle of the ground there. But Dion Prestia there, he had an opportunity to put a chase on and stop Nick Rewalt running into space, and he was happy just to let him run into space there. Just hasn't been good enough, the defence tonight, Richmond.
Steele grabs Caddy when not in possession.
You asked me before about the question about whether you can forgive a performance like this, and I said yes, perhaps a week's grace, but you can't forgive little things like that. Richo's right. You can have a bad night, but you've got to still put the effort in there. They'll get a shot for goal here, but Dion Prestia has to be better in that situation. You've still got to play the game right out to the very end. The fans are here to watch. They've had a tough night. You can still put the effort in to chase and try and stop St Kilda kicking more goals. That's unforgivable.
Yeah, and they've scored 81 points from turnovers, and it's because when Richmond have turned it over, they just haven't worked hard enough to help their defence, which they've been good at all season.
Sean Grigg, 2 behinds this evening. He gets the Tigers' 4th goal. They've been few and far between for Richmond tonight. But Sean Grigg kicks his 9th of the season. With 35 seconds left remaining in this 3rd term as Damien Hardwick and Alan Richardson, you never tell by looking at them. But I'm sure their emotions couldn't be more different right now.
Richo's been really working on that, hasn't he? Just staying in the moment, clear mind. He's done a great job at the Saints.
6 years since they've played finals footy. 2011 the last time they were there. Are they heading back there now? Gee, they look good. They look a finals team. Steele out of the middle. Long ball bounces over Bruce's head. Asprey, right spot, mops up. How's the kick this time? Montagna read that perfectly, then left the footy behind. Billings back to Montagna. Clock's at 18. Gilbert, Robertson. Well done, St Kilda. Composure. Robertson kept coming to help Mackenzie. What a good team performance this has been. Highlighted by this passage of play. Carlisle across to Kobe Stevens. That was quite superb. They're on the back foot there, but never lost their heads, never lost their confidence, and they have got fans and admirers everywhere tonight. An 82-point lead at half-time becomes an 89-point lead at three-quarter time. St Kilda 19-8, Richmond 4-9. Hashtag fight like Matty. That is exactly what they've done. A quarter to play. Saturday night footy at Etihad.
Born to run could become their trademark. They've been devastating tonight with their speed. And as we turn for home at Etihad, they lead by 89 points.
All right, Richmond.
Dustin Martin will get the first meaningful possession of the last term. His 12th for the evening. Wants to get it and go. Penetrating kick inside 50. 3-on-1 in the air. All St Kilda. And Billy Long is having a good night.
He's really had a good night, Billy Long. Not a lot of touches, but just taking some crucial marks at different stages.
He's had an influence, hasn't he? As is this man, Sinclair. Been a bit of a quiet achiever, up to 22 touches. Montagna, and away they go again. This time it's Rance, reads it well. Slips the tackle. Gives it to Butler. Steele to run him down. Grigg. Hoists it inside 50. Once again, Billy Longer.
So that's the last kick Richmond want going inside 50. They've only got one tall forward, Jack Rewalt, and those long high balls just aren't going to work for Richmond.
Longer up to 9 disposals now. He has been, as you said, Richo, not a lot of the football, but he's done so many good things. His ruck work's been a real feature. And Asprey not paid that mark, so it must have hit the deck there.
Thanks, guys.
So if they sound the siren right now, it would be the equal second biggest victory for St Kilda over the Tigers.
It's a bit stiff there. That was a mark.
The biggest was 103 points back in 2006. Richo, you played that night, 4 goals. Fraser Gehrig at the other end kicked 10. We're into that sort of territory. It's quite remarkable. And Robertson,
wiped it out of the recess of my brain.
The growth of this defender in front of our eyes has been superb. Loney, Savage, the kick for Rewalt, well done. It was an important hand in there. In fact, it was a goal-saving hand in there from David Asprey.
Billy, you up? Billy?
Let's have a look at Billy Longer here. He's copped one in the mush there in that ruck contest. He looks okay, though. He's up and he's ready to go.
He's right back into this contest with Nankervis, who slaps it towards the line. Steele can't quite get there. So you might be wiping this one from the recesses of your mind too, Richo. Richmond fans will be looking for one of those Men in Black type devices where you can just wipe the whole thing and pretend it never happened.
You should be able to have one game a year you can wipe. Just one. This would be the one, wouldn't it, if you're a Richmond supporter?
Where's Will Smith?
It's been a good, consistent year for the Tigers, as we said a couple of times. They got beaten by Adelaide by 76 points, but one thing that has won them admirers all season is even when they've lost, they've been really competitive. They've lost a handful of games by very small margins, but tonight the wheels just came off early.
Yeah, and that's the Saints were brilliant early. Totally switched on to this game. Won it in the contest. Hard running.
No, Billy Longers. You had your arm around his arm.
Sure.
Take him, climb back on.
Longer will give it off. Steele. Wide open goal square. Oh, just the wrong side of the post for the Saints. And Jack Steele, who's had 27 possessions. It's been such a spread. Ross 28, Stephen 28, Montagna 26, Kobe Stevens 26, Jack Steele 26. Really has been a great spread of contributors through the midfield.
Good mark from Lambert. Wanted to go straight away. Does to Lloyd. He looks on. There's nothing obvious. So he kicks to a contest. High ball whistle. And it is going Dusty's way.
Right arms round. Thanks, Jack. Straight to him.
Gilbert not sure. Umpire was there. It's a bit both ways. But as you say, Richo, when the umpire sees the arms around, then that's the trigger, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the arms around, and when he lost sight of the ball there for a minute, Gilbert, it didn't help him either.
He's been the players' MVP for the month of June. Also had the perfect 10 from the coaches in 4 of the last 5 games. Not a great one tonight, but he gets a goal, Dusty. Yeah, a little both ways, that one, but I guess Gilbert's arms were wrapped right around, so it is the trigger, as we say, and a little anticlimactic, but perhaps it was there. 84 points St Kilda's lead. Biggest lead tonight, 95 points.
Billy.
Let's take a look at some of these numbers. Huge disposal discrepancy. Most of those uncontested disposals. St Kilda have just won the outside game emphatically this evening.
Plus 108 on the outside. That says something about their run and support of each other tonight, the Saints.
Martin, the double fend off. Short, Grigg. Now Butler. He goes to Stengel, 60 from home. He's got pressure at the top of the 50. He's got 2 men deep. He goes short to Jaden Short, who'll spear it in towards the top of the square. Sinclair at the back. Oh, touched off his boot. Opportunity here for the Tigers. Lloyd couldn't wriggle free. Membry in there scrapping with Grigg. Gilbert in there as well.
No, it was touch. Thanks, John.
Well-balanced team at the moment, the Saints, aren't they? They've got a couple of, which we get a blood rule here to Longer. They've got good key defenders. Nathan Brown's been a really good pickup for them. Played 14 games this year and locked down. He's a great lockdown defender, Nathan Brown. You've got Jake Carlisle and Robertson, who can come off and intercept. And you've got Membry, Bruce and Rewalt floating up forward. Longer performing well in the ruck. Their big guys are playing well. It's a good-looking spine that they now have, and with that run and carry they have on the outside with Ross and Stephen and Montagna still playing well in that role, things are looking good for the Saints.
Bruce. Here's Ross. To Kobe Stevens. Had a great night. Nankervis has got to stand underneath this one. He does.
He's got under our guard a bit, Stevens. He's had a great night.
27 possessions for Kobe Stevens, 10 of those contested, and he's kicked 2 goals. Sinclair, Grigg.
Started on Dustin Martin in the middle too. Wasn't a tagging role, but has been alongside him at a lot of those centre bounces, Kobe Stevens. Richmond had a win in the contested ball in the 3rd quarter, but the damage was done in that first half.
Butler tracks the ball. He's got Ellis in support. Slips through 2 tackles, make that 3. Gives it off to Cochin from a standing start on 50. Robertson's got this one covered. He taps it down to Geary. And the Saints should be able to run it out. Montagna throws it on the boot. It was a panicked kick, and it's picked off by Taylor Hunt.
Play on.
Wants to go quickly and does to Cochin.
Play on.
So it hasn't been the skipper's best night. There was a moment early. His effort and the footy wasn't as most ferocious. That's a ferocious attempt to mark from Lloyd. And
yeah, I think you worried early when Rance and Cochin gave away those 50s, Baz. It just sort of set the tone, I reckon, early in the game. Wasn't a good start. The Saints made them pay and went on from there.
Lloyd hasn't troubled the scorers tonight. It hasn't been a great night for him. This is disposal number 8. He cuts the margin by a point, 83 points. So Trent Cochin will have a little bit to think about. There was the jumper punch. We heard him tell the umpires, or say to the umpires, it was with an open hand, but that's not his job to tell them that. Certainly the match review panel will make up their own mind from the vision. So it'll be a nervous few days, that's for sure.
And Curvis gives it off to Asprey. Plenty of traffic inside forward 50.
St.Kilda.
Stengel gets into the back of Gilbert.
Just bumped him out of the contest. Time back on.
But tonight's a night where you really have noticed the lack of that second tall forward for Richmond as well.
I'll take it.
Just simply haven't got anyone else to pick in that position at the moment. Got their hands tied on that one. Ben Griffiths out indefinitely with the concussion.
Sean Hampson as well with the back problem.
So they just haven't had anyone to pick in that second tall.
Prestia, Hunt, and now Ellis tries to take on Sinclair. Taylor Hunt, he's wrapped up by Montagna. Sinclair comes in support. Tigers still have the football. Cochin's handball to Rance, set him a task. Membry weaves through traffic, gives it to Savage. Now Montagna, Saints run it again. This man's done some damage tonight. Gresham can get it and go. Runs to 55. Bruce the target. Gets rid of McIntosh. Numbers at the back, all Richmond.
It's been a nearly night, hasn't it, for Josh Bruce?
To Lambert. He's kicked 2 goals, 5, Josh Bruce. Menadue. Again, the handball just missed its target.
I reckon he'll be a little bit frustrated after the game, Josh Bruce. He'll be very happy, obviously, with the win and how the Saints have played, but could have really cashed in tonight.
7 shots at goal. You're hoping for better than that, aren't you, Richo? 2-5.
Yeah, you don't often get 7 shots at goal. He's done well to get into the positions, just hasn't quite finished it off.
Getting a lot of looks at it. I'd certainly like to do better. Martin on all fours, and the ball forward Rioli's way. It came from Prestia. It was well done by Nankervis. The big man found some space when it didn't look like there was much there, and Lloyd on his chest plays on quickly, short, and Lambert's got it. He wants to play on quickly, and why wouldn't he? Because he's got a man in a better position. Butler directly in front.
He needs to turn around, Dan Butler. No one on the mark. Could have taken advantage of that. Still no one on the mark. Look at that.
Finally, Ben Long comes in. Well, that's probably a lack of confidence, isn't it, Richo, tonight? And in other circumstances would have noticed that.
Yeah.
And off he goes. So Butler kicking for his first score of the night. He's kicked a goal. It's back to 77 points.
Oh, the Cobra. We're a couple. Double Cobra. Have a look at that. The double Cobra from the young fella in the crowd. Had the old school jumper on too.
When you're 77 points down, we like it.
I like it. He's positive. Oh, well.
He's thinking that one might be the engine starter, Richard.
You never know. Little girl's seen enough there, sitting amongst the Richmond cheer squad.
She should be up and about.
Bored. Have a look at this, Jace. The double Cobra with the old school drink drive jumper on. He's positive. Good on him. I think he knew he was getting a bit of camera time.
The old 1990s jersey as well, Guernsey. Grigg inside 50, only as far as Carlisle. Savage being productive this evening. He pokes it to Stevens for his 28th touch. Kobe Stevens to Montagna. They go laterally to Sinclair. They've shared it around so effectively this evening. Top 7 players on the ground in terms of disposals, all Saints. Loney tried to flip it, couldn't quite. Edwards to Ellis. Now Rioli can get it and go. Looks for Jack Riewoldt and finds him right on 50.
Great, guys, thank you.
Riewoldt wants to give it off. He does to Grigg. He pops it over the top. Lambert off a step. And somehow Sam Lloyd gets on the end of it. It's not the way they drew it up. It's almost one of those nights where players want to start dishing the football off, Richo, rather than have a shot themselves.
Well, the 4-8 on the set shots for Richmond tonight.
15 seconds.
And Lloyd pokes it through.
Well, I guess they've just got to try and be happy and positive, the Richmond supporters. They came here tonight not expecting this. I think everyone thought it would be a pretty good contest between two teams that started the night in the 8. Hasn't been that way for the Richmond fans.
Well, it's a great cause, isn't it? And everybody here at the ground has got involved. So much purple. mrv.org.au. Hashtag fight like Matty. And we urge everybody, wherever you're watching around the country, to get involved and donate and contribute and to keep that money coming in. The aim is to raise $300,000, and this can fund a research position for up to 3 years. And there's the one win that we saw, Richo, with these last flurry, I guess you might call it, of goals. They've gone back ahead of St Kilda on the live ladder, but they're under pressure again. Gresham, look at the fierce attack. Steele involved. Sinclair turns around. Good kick down the line. Grigg. Fine tackle by Long. That's holding the ball.
Brilliant tackle. Brilliant tackle. Got the arms pinned. Nothing Grigg could do there.
So Long with a shortish kick, and well, there we go. Membry is about to go back and kick for a career equaling 5th goal.
He doesn't miss these normally. I don't want to know what happens when you say that, but pretty reliable shot on goal. Just got over the back there. Wasn't really expecting it, Membry. Well done. Stayed in the game.
4 times last year, 5 goals. 3 times before he's done it at Etihad Stadium. For a bag of 5 for the first time in 2017. Thanks for the Membry.
So there's Dylan Grimes. Alan Richardson. You would have loved this tackle. That is a perfect tackle. Pinned that arm. Nothing Grigg could do. Just fought for front position. And that's what can happen when you get front position as a forward, and he loved it. His first bag of 5 this year. He's got plenty of time. Stay in the game. He could end up with a couple more. A couple of late ones. St Kilda need to stay switched on here. They can finish the night in 4th position if they can play the game right out to the end, and that would be their focus now.
And that would be extraordinary given they trailed the Tigers by a game and 14% at the start of the evening.
Well, when the game started, it just shows you how even this year is. They're in 9th spot when the game started, and they can finish tonight in 4th if they can kick a couple of late goals.
Longer to Ross, ineffective handball. McKenzie gets it to Longer. Puts it into the path of Steele to run onto. One-on-one with Menadue. Gets there first as Menadue. Running out of space. Tried to keep it alive for Cochin, but it worked beautifully for Sinclair. He can go inside 50 to Bruce. And Josh Bruce has kicked 2-5. So he's happy to dish it off.
Well, that's very ordinary defending. Again, a player was allowed to waltz through the middle of the ground. He ran past a couple of Richmond players, Mackenzie, that just weren't switched on, weren't concentrating, not staying in the game.
So doesn't get a lot of shots at goal, Dan Mackenzie. He's kicked 1 goal, 2 in his 19 AFL games. And he joins the celebrations. th individual goal kicker for the Saints this evening. Half their team has hit the scoreboard.
Have a look at this here. Bruce is all on his own. And then this kick here, Richmond should have that corridor guarded. Look at that hole that was left there. And he was able to just waltz in, and there's Prestia just trailing in. He switched off again there, Prestia.
Dion Prestia is not going to like his tape on Monday morning, is he, Richo? A couple of efforts there where he's just completely switched off and hasn't had the work rate needed to get back and defend. Obviously, the coaches will go through it with him, but you can't be doing that in AFL footy. There's nowhere to hide out there.
There's nowhere to hide for the umpire right at the moment either, Lingy. Poor old Jacob Mollison, with what we're told is the biggest crowd at Etihad Stadium this year, and they were hanging on that bounce. Heard the jeers. So Cochin now with a free kick. Inside 50 for the Tigers. Martin almost. Gilbert, well done. Got the footy on his knees. Came back to Martin. Terrific from Gilbert. Well done. Sinclair. Now Ross. Superb night. It's been quite magnificent, and Rance gets to the footy first.
Talk about natural improvement. You mentioned Robertson. What about Seb Ross? He's played 73 games. In his first 62 games, he had just 7 30-plus possession games, Richo. He's now done it 11 of the last 12 weeks. How's that for an increase in going next level?
Yeah, well, he's just found that consistency that every footballer's looking for. Jason, at that point in his career now where he knows what's required, what he has to do to get the best out of himself.
Martin brings it inboard.
It takes a while to find that, but he's obviously really clear in his mind now about what he has to do.
Short goes inside 50. Castagna at the back takes it on the chest.
It's probably about that 40-50 game mark where you start to really work out your game. Come into that consistent patch that you then probably have for the rest of your career, and that's where he is at the moment, I reckon, Seb Ross.
He's had 31 tonight. This is Jason Castagna. 1 goal, 1 in the 3rd term. And he poked at that one.
By the way, Richo, when I said biggest crowd at Etihad Stadium this year, of course, Adele did have 75,000 twice.
She can pull a crowd, Adele.
Biggest footy crowd at Etihad Stadium this year. Here's Bruce, keeps bobbing up. 7 shots at goal. He's given a couple off. Kobe Stevens, superb tonight. Stevens to Stephen, and now Revolt. Rance, just enough pressure. At the back, Butler mopping up. That's what Butlers do. Grigg. Caddy got some support, and he uses the support. Edwards back to Ellis. That was better from the Tigers. That's the sort of footy through the middle we've seen all year. Not tonight, but they get one back.
Yeah, good run and support there. Brandon Ellis was the man that ended up with it, but we haven't seen enough of that tonight. Through the corridor, some clean handball. Missed some easy handballs tonight, Richmond, but a good chain there. Caddy drew a player, and Shane Edwards drew a player as well, and then finally Ellis is released. Nice finish.
So, Lingy, when they reviewed this tape, is it one that you just take a few lessons out of and then basically try to wipe, or do you really try to break this down and decide whether or not this is something more than just a blip on the radar?
You use this as an opportunity to teach the difference between when they play really good football and the fundamentals they do well there versus what they've dished up tonight. And when they're not right on their game and their structures aren't right and they're not communicating well, they're not executing well, this is what can happen in AFL footy. So you use it as a really strong learning tool, and I mean a strong one.
Rioli to Lambert. He'll square it up. Got a couple of players in space. It was good vision. He finds Butler. Chance to go back and kick his second.
It's circle working now, isn't it, this game? It's fizzing out, which often happens when a team's been put away by half-time. But it could be important for either team. It could be really important because of the closeness of the year, as we've mentioned a few times tonight, and the percentage.
Richmond's kicking for goal tonight has been very poor.
Yeah, the set shots tonight have been woeful for the Tigers. The Saints have been really good. 6-8 to Richmond. 13-2, there you see it on your screen.
Currently sitting, Richo, on their lowest score for the season, and the Saints, their highest score for the season, 135 points for St Kilda. They get a goal here, they can get away from that mark, and Castagna on his chest marks. See, there's just a lack of confidence even with these, what appear to be gilt-edged opportunities, don't they? They're just, well, their confidence is gone completely tonight. It's shot, isn't it?
Well, let's see if he learnt from his last shot, Jason Castagna. At least he's still presenting himself. He still wants the footy in his hands.
1-1 tonight for Jason Castagna. Turns 21 on Wednesday, going at a goal a game this year for his second here, and they're off their lowest score for the season.
Yeah, that was better. He got more momentum through that one, Jason Castagna. And it was a nice kick in the end as he comes from the ground. So he had 4 shots at goal for the night, so he kept presenting himself. Plenty of wigs out there tonight. And the halos for the Saints. Oh, he knows the cameras are about now, this young fella.
He's got a big future.
He likes it, doesn't he?
Margin back to 70 points.
Someone's texted him and told him he's on TV. He said, "I love this. I'll have a bit more."
Loney, quick hands. Stephen. Fend off on Caddy to Billings. Into the path of Gresham. Taken to ground, but bobs up so quickly. Recovers. Delivers inside 50. Asprey at the back. Picks it off. Caddy goes up the middle. Dangerous kick. Once again, Gresham hits the ground running. Pokes it to the pocket, but Rance in best position. Now Prestia. To McIntosh, drops the mark, surrounded by Saints.
Should that be prior opportunity, Richo? I mean, he should have marked the ball.
Yeah, it's just like that, Baz.
That was his opportunity.
Gilbert and Grigg once again go in the ruck. Smothered off his boot by Prestia. Grigg feeds it out to Menadue, pops it over the top to Butler. Wants to step around Savage. Dribbles a kick towards Lambert. Stephen arrives at the same time. Lambert keeps his feet, stripped of the football. Gilbert. Montagna hangs onto it just long enough. Fashions a kick to Billings. Now to Stephen. And that tackle from Cochin affected the kick. McIntosh, but he coughs it straight back up to Sinclair. To Savage. He's got 2 options standing at centre-half forward. One of them is long. He can deliver to Revolt. Rance infringes. A popular decision amongst the St Kilda faithful. And Nick Revolt the chance to go back and kick 4 goals rather in Matty's match.
Yeah, that's a good decision. Pulled Nick's arm down there, and look at all the space Revolt had. He had all of that space on the fat side of the ground, and once he gets a good jump at it at 196 centimetres with his arms fully stretched, not much a good defender can do there.
He's had a very good season in front of goal. He's kicked 23 goals, 10, 3 straight tonight.
That was for his 3rd bag of 4 for the year. You think he should play on, Richo?
Yeah, I don't see why not. If his body's sound, and it appears to be, he seems to be moving pretty well to me. Why wouldn't he?
Thumping kick up the middle from Short. Short with a long kick.
I mean, I guess Depends what happens with McCartan a little bit as well.
Well, I'm not sure we've seen that so far this season. He went the fend off. He didn't get away with it. Loney, no mark, but gets the free kick. Well done, Dylan Robertson. And that needs to be seen again. Because Martin, although not having his best night, he's one of the first players this season anywhere around the competition to take Martin on like that and push him backwards.
Yeah, they've done well tonight on Martin. When he has had the ball in close, they haven't allowed him to break free in his trademark fashion.
Well, he's one of the few Saints, Loney, Jack Loney, who hasn't hit the scoreboard tonight. He hits the post.
Rance with the spiral. Long and Grigg scrap at ground level. Gilbert in over the top.
He's been Richmond's best player tonight, Grigg.
29th touch for him coming up. Gives it to McIntosh. Goes to ground. Caddy retreats to Asprey, and now Alice. He's got Lambert down the line. Lambert inboard to Caddy. Caddy goes towards half forward. Presti was the target of the kick, but it was wayward and picked off by Robertson again. Just going about his business, Dylan Robertson. 20th touch coming up this evening. Loney and McKenzie lands heavily.
Yeah, that'd wind him, I reckon. Gee,
That made a huge thud as he landed there. Yeah, you're right, Richo. This will have winded him. Hopefully he doesn't hit his head as he comes down. No more the back, so he will be winded. Oh, that would hurt. Terrific grab. That's launched himself at it. Brilliant mark.
It's not a good feeling, that, Lingy, when you're in the air and your legs come out from under you. There's nothing you can do. Great mark, though. Let's hope he's okay. He looks like he's going to get up. That takes courage to mark the ball like that in the air. Not just at ground level, it takes courage to jump in the air like that.
Ross delivers to Membry. As McKenzie comes off to recover. Revolt the target.
Yeah, I think he should play on. Nick, let's have a look at his night tonight. He's taken 12 marks. He's kicked 3 goals, 1. And he's leading a 3-time All-Australian, Alex Rance, around in the 50 here. So I think he's got another year in him.
He's going to step around and snap it from 35. Just didn't quite get the angle right.
I mean, if he can get off Rance and take marks, I think that says you've still got a fair bit to offer.
Kicked the first of the night tonight. It was almost too much to ask for, wasn't it, for him to kick the last goal of the night? On a night when we remember his brave sister, Maddie. And they have been so brave tonight, St Kilda. They've been better than brave. They've been outstanding. And, well, you just feel to the mix of contenders tonight, another one needs to be added. St Kilda last played finals in 2011. It was 6 years ago. And for the first time in 6 years, first time since 2011, St Kilda have won 4 in a row. Fitting in another way, I guess. Jack Revolt on a special night for the Revolt family. Can he finish with a goal? Crowd of 47,514. It's St Kilda's night. A Revolt kicked the first goal, and a Revolt kicks the last. St Kilda by 67 points on Maddie's night.
points from St Kilda. 21 goals, 12, 138. Defeat the Tigers 10-11, 71. They did that damage in the first half, particularly that second quarter. They kicked 9 goals, 5 to 1 behind to convert their 24-point quarter-time lead into an 82-point half-time lead. They led by 89 at three-quarter time. The Tigers kicking 6 goals to 2 in the final term to reduce the final margin to 67 points. But St Kilda putting their stake in the ground as a top 4 contender with a scintillating performance tonight in front of 47,500 fans at Etihad Stadium for Matty's match. Jack Stephen finished with 33 possessions, Seb Ross with 32 and Lee Montagna with 31. Membry finished with 5 goals. Nick Riewoldt with 3 as we head down to Cameron Ling.
Well, I'm joined by the 2 Riewoldt players tonight, Jack Riewoldt and Nick Riewoldt, on a special night for their family, Matty Riewoldt's match, Matty's match. And I'll start with you, Nick. Obviously on the winning team, a terrific night for St Kilda, but obviously a really special night for you and your entire family tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, Lingy. Thanks so much to everyone that's made the effort to come out tonight from both football clubs. The way both football clubs have embraced Matty's vision, and the fight against bone marrow failure has been absolutely incredible. So to both St Kilda Football Club, Richmond Football Club and all the supporters and people here tonight, thank you very much.
And Jack, unfortunately for you, a bad night from a footy sense, but obviously the turnout tonight, as Nick just mentioned, is a special thing and a show of support for a wonderful cause, but it was a pretty tough night for the Tigers.
Yeah, look, Lingy, the Saints outplayed us in all areas, so it's unfortunate, but look, just what Roo said before with all the St Kilda fans and all the Richmond fans that have travelled here on Saturday night. Our family thanks you so much. The Matty Riewoldt's vision thanks you so much, and it's great to see us see a purple and really see footy clubs unite. So thank you everyone, really appreciate it on behalf of the Richmond Footy Club.
And Nick, I've got to say, we're about to make a presentation of a few dollars to Matty Riewoldt's vision, and it's because of all the goals that St Kilda kicked. We'll mention the sponsors just in a second, but the football you guys played tonight was just simply electrifying and piled on the goals.
Yeah, the boys obviously pretty motivated to kick straight tonight. So, really appreciate the support of Holman and Dare. Great supporters of our football club and of Matty Riewoldt's vision. So thank you very much to Dare, Ice Coffee and Holman. And obviously to everyone in the crowd. It's not just about the family, it's about all the sufferers, kids, young adolescents that are fighting bone marrow failure. So thank you.
So Dare and Holman have kindly donated $250 each for every goal that St Kilda kicked tonight, and it's a fantastic contribution, and I'm sure the Riewoldt family appreciates all the donations tonight and everybody who turned up.
Absolutely, yeah, thank you. Hopefully we can smash that barrier that we were hoping to reach tonight, and judging by the crowd I reckon we'll go pretty close. So thanks for your continued support. A lot of people out there that are fighting very serious illness that are really grateful, so thank you.
Really appreciate your time, Nick, and Jack as well. Thanks for everyone who turned out tonight.
Yeah, well done, Lingy. They're great words, and look, he's been a great leader of the St Kilda Football Club, but he's become a statesman, hasn't he, through this cause for his sister, and you can't fault anything that Nick Riewoldt does on or off the field, Richo.
No, absolutely not. It was a massive week for Nick, I guess, in all the promotion of Matty's vision, and it would have been pretty tiring for him by the end of the week, all of the stuff that he had to do, but it's all worth it in the end. A great win for the Saints on the special night for him. The crowd turned up, Baz, and as Nick just said, I reckon they'll embrace plenty of money tonight for Matty's vision, and yeah, well done to everyone for supporting the cause tonight.
Which is just terrific, isn't it? Thanks to Jason Bennett too for a great call tonight. More from Jace tomorrow with BT, Melbourne and Carlton from the MCG. And well, the first goal, Richo, it was like it was just meant to be. I mean, we talked about scripts in football. I mean, you can have some fun with terminology like that, but there are no scripts in football, but it could not have gone any better for them.
You could tell from about the first minute of this game that the Saints were on and the Tigers weren't, and a couple of sloppy 50-metre penalties given away, some ill discipline from the Tigers, and the Saints were all over them right from the start, and they made them pay, and it was a scintillating first half of football. We haven't seen footy like that from the Saints this year. They were just running over the top of the ground, and Richmond just couldn't go with them, to be honest.
Seb Ross has had a brilliant season. Another 32 disposals tonight, Lingy. He was one of their big guns.
Oh, he certainly was, Baz. Brilliant in the midfield, Seb. What a game of football. You guys, in that first half in particular, some of the most sensational footy we've seen this year.
Yeah, we're moving the footy really well, Lingy. I think pleasing for us was on the back of our defence. They'd scored 10 or so points in the first half, so that's what we tried to replicate in the second half there.
And your own form this year has been remarkable. Your improvement is huge. What do you put that down to?
Just another pre-season, I guess, and another pre-season working with the likes of Jack Stephen, Kobe Stevens, Jack Steele, really learning those guys and how they play. It's made it easier for me.
A great turnout here. Nick Riewold's about to lead the team off. Obviously a special night for the Riewold family and also for the entire St Kilda Footy Club.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll try and put on a show for Matty Riewoldt Vision tonight. It was good to see huge numbers here. I'm not quite sure how many were here, but come away with the win, and it'll be pretty special for the Riewoldt family. All
right, go and join the team, mate. Well done tonight. Sensational.
Cheers.
Great job, Lingy. Lingy, just before you go, these are great scenes here. Could you hear that then, the a cappella version from the St Kilda supporters behind you during that interview? I've never heard that before, without the music accompanying them. A slow rendition of their song. That was quite magical.
Oh, it was, Baz. You're absolutely right, as the St Kilda fans cheer their favourites off the ground right now. It was good to hear, and it's a good song too. I know I don't mind the Richmond song, but I'll tell you what, the Saints song, when the Saints come marching in, it's a good one when the crowd gets right behind it.
Look at those two stalwarts together. Good on you, Lingy. Montagna and Riewoldt, 11 and 12, 285 and 331.
Yeah, they were outstanding, both of those guys tonight. Joey kicked those two big bombs in the first half. Both goals from outside 50. There's Joe Riewoldt. Well done, Joe. He's a great bloke, Joe. He'll enjoy a nice frothy tonight, and he deserves one.
And for Jack, he kicked the last goal of the game. His cousin Nick kicked the first goal of the game. Tough night for Richmond, and, well, it might be difficult in the short term for them to get themselves together. Let's listen to this.
Marching